myself and several of the women were trying to motion him to zip that up, and he didn't do it. He didn't get the hint. So I thought, if that's what he wants to do, that's fine, but he ought to have something a little more showy to hang out of his robe. So this award is called the Spare Tie Award, and it goes to Dick.
Dick. Trying to hold it up. Stand up. Short.
Fell off already.
Oh.
That's Spare Tie tucking on your shirt.
Okay, okay.
Long time. Yeah. We expect to see you.
Okay. This is an award we probably should have given out quite a few years ago, but I don't know why I didn't, but I'm doing it this year. Everybody knows that we have one person in the choir that every time we do an anthem that is just a little bit fast, we can hardly keep her still. She starts moving around. And so here I've got a plaque. It's the Rock and Roll Award. And there's a button on it that says, "Let's Boogie." And that goes to Bernie. This next award I've got is a real key award, because without this person we wouldn't be able to sing too often, because we don't practice a cappella very often. So this year Betty gets the key award.
Oh, good.
Now, one thing I was real happy about this year was, you know, we're always short on men, it seems. Lots of choirs are that way. And we've got our men's section built up so good now. And it's almost like they're in competition with each other. So secretly, for the last 2 months, I've been privately listening to each one of them sing, and I thought this year it'd be appropriate to choose the male vocalist of the year. And this year's male vocalist, which I hope you get this, is Butch. M-A-I-L.
There's Butch.
Stamp on it.
That's cute.
Yeah. Forgot to cancel the stamp.
You'll have to take care of that. Oh, 22 cents for it. Under the counter.
Under the counter.
Now, I don't know how many of you have noticed, but recently Mike Sullivan has switched over from glasses to contacts. And not too long ago he was complaining in the choir that he's having trouble reading his music with his contacts. Well, my first response was, take him back to EMC. But he said he had trouble adjusting, looking down and looking up. Well, I think it was 2 weeks ago when we were lined up in the sanctuary just before we went in, he told me, he said, I'm trying something new today. He said, I've got one contact in and I took the other one out. He said, hopefully I'll be able to see the music better. So I think what the solution for Mike would be if he had better adjustable eyeballs. So Mike gets the adjustable eyeball award this year.
to be proud of your father.
Now, for those of you that are familiar with the Mayo Award, which we started about 7 or 8 years ago, goes to the person that has the best attendance. Well, for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years in a row there, Mayo kept getting the award. Well, I looked in my grade book this week to decide who had the best attendance. And we had to be pretty picky-unish about this. And it wasn't Mayo. Because if you remember, those of you who were there at practice one night, he came late. Remember that? We couldn't get in the elevator, Mayo went around. Right. So that counted against it. But
it was Paula's fault.
in Mayo's behalf, you probably all know that about every little thing that gets done around that church, usually if you ask who did it, it ends up that Mayo did it. But he never tells anybody. Music gets put away, folders get put away, robes get straightened up. He just runs around that church and never tells anybody, just like a little mouse. So this year I thought it'd be appropriate that we give Mayo the Quiet as a Mouse Award. Now for the Mayo Award, there were 3 people that had almost perfect attendance. Krista was one, but employees of the director can't participate. Sherry was one, but you know how I feel about that. Mike Sullivan was one, but there's 2 problems. One, he already has an award. And 2, he let me know he's not going to be here the last Sunday. Now, if he should change his mind and show up, I might have to call another party and we'll get him a Mayo Award. But this year's Mayo Award goes to Dawn Beck. She hasn't missed a practice or one time we sang. Let's put a picture of Mayo on top there. Okay. Now, another award that's newer this year is, you often know on Sundays when we're singing or when we're lining up, sometimes you look pretty sober, so I'm always saying smile, and then all of a sudden we have 28 people go like that. And during the anthem sometimes I'll remind you again to smile, and you do, but there is one particular person that smiles probably the best of anybody in the choir. And so I've got an award this year called the Nicest Smile Award. This year the Nicest Smile Award goes to Hal Hackett.
Looks like it needs some work on there.
Now, I just have a couple left here. I've got one more award. I don't know if I call it an award or not, but there is one person in the choir whose jaws can't just stay still for 2 or 3 seconds. You all know who that is. And I'm always getting, why don't I ever get the Mayo Award? Why don't I get this and that? Well, I did find something appropriate to give her, and we're going to call it the Jaws Award, and it's a set of shark jaws.
Long time.
And for the last award here tonight, you know, we do have a couple in the choir that are going to be entering the United Methodist Church Chancel Choir Hall of Fame. And I tried to think of something appropriate. We know that, I hope by now we all know that we're talking about Pastor Chow and Betty. Pastor Chow's been the leader of our church for 11 years, and he's been in the choir, and he's been a leader in the choir, and sometimes with our bunch it might be kind of hard to lead, and we all know what kind of a leader Betty is. So I'd like to present Pastor Chow and Betty with the Fearless Leader Award. They can set this trophy on their new mantle at home, and it even comes with 2 Chinese yo-yos.